Epa, Super Saiyan chicos and chicas. How you guys doing today? I hope you guys are doing pretty damn good. And I'm gonna be doing something different once in a while. And just how I did the other video with the Dalai Lama, I'm gonna be doing videos where if I see that it's like controversial to my taste, I'm gonna get and watch it. Why not? And so today we're gonna be checking out. Hey, look, before I continue, easy content and it's fun. Like to me, it's fun because it's something like I'm either like I've been going into like watching people online like Charlie that goes through these things as Asmongold. Hopefully, I'm singing Asmongold, and I enjoy watching their content. And I'm like, why not react to some of it? Why not? Especially the short ones. I feel like are good for a short video. Anyway, so I saw this floating around. So we're gonna be watching Sunny V2, and let's see his point of view. I've seen videos from him, if I'm not mistaken, on my personal channel. I'm not subscribed here on my Super Saiyan one. And this is why Chris will soon be a nightmare for Mr. Beast. So if you guys don't know, I kind of just found out probably a few days ago. I think I saw it floating around. I guess one of Mr. Beast's friends is starting to transition or something. I want to see why would that be a nightmare, because I don't see why. I feel like who the hell cares, but let's go for it and see why it's a nightmare.
The Chris Tyson situation could become a complete disaster for Mr. Beast's brand. However, it may also provide some unique benefits. So let's begin by going over the drama before explaining exactly how this will impact the Mr. Beast channel. In mid-2022, fans began to notice that Chris Tyson was changing. In the early days, he represented the quintessential southern gun and truck loving dude. Yet beginning in March 2022, Chris began to display increasingly feminine traits, making tweets such as, "I finally got my nails done at a nail tech." Additionally, Chris would highlight that his facial appearance had changed significantly since the start of the pandemic, which accompanied another post.
He just got younger. He just got rid of the facial hair. Facial hair sometimes is hard to maintain.
Reading, "Okay, so in 4 different customs, I had to prove I was myself because I, quote, look nothing like my passport pic, so much that I'm considering updating my passport. Do you see any resemblance?"
Well, he's skinnier here. And that picture on his passport is not one of the best picture, but he looks like he was fatter, like he was more, here he looks more skinnier. And I guess also because of the beard, his face looks thinner. Oh, you guys noticed that with me, when I shave, my face looks thinner. I think someone mentioned that, because of my jaw or something like that. Plus, he has a different haircut and all. Like, yeah, he looks younger. He actually looks younger to the right, in my opinion.
Prompting replies such as, "You went from man to boy." Chris responded by stating, "Nah, to be honest, I just really started taking my mental health seriously and eating better." Yet his Twitter photos kept insinuating that Chris was becoming more feminine.
"I now have lethal weapons at all times. I'm ready for any attack." What do you mean, like the nails?
With this same kind of look showing up in his Mr. Beast appearances. For example, on the 6th of January 2023, Beast Reacts uploaded a video titled "I strapped a GoPro to a fish," in which Chris dressed in a way that prompted comments such as, "Chris has been adopting more and more traits that remind me of my grandmother." Okay, so some people just got
That's pretty fucked up, but alright. So he's a granny now.
Gonna ignore Chris's nails? Chris had to have lost a bet. The look is getting wild. The response to the video then prompted countless viral TikToks, such as this one with 700,000 likes, stating, "How did Chris go from this to this?" While others even made the claim that Carl had turned him gay. Now, this was pretty ridiculous, as Carl isn't even that feminine, and Chris had come out as bisexual years before he and Carl had even met. The true catalyst for Chris Tyson's bisexual.
Also, I want to use my alt to let everyone know I am bi, and when I told a few people I did when I was 16, I got a lot of negative backlash from friends or family. Just know, if the people around you don't love and support you, we always will. Well, that's the thing, like, so I wouldn't say like, friends and family, like, sometimes, like, I can say that's not something a dad would like to hear, but you can't hate your kid. You just can't. And for those out there who was like tell me like or comment like, oh, what if it happens to you? Well, I'm just giving you the answer. Would I be excited? No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't be excited. I wouldn't be happy. I like it will not sit well, but that's it. I wouldn't change my outlook to my kid. I gonna love them regardless because they're my fucking kid.
Years before he
and friends, if friends cannot accept you for who you are, then they're not your friends. Now, there's a line. You can't be weird either. Like, you can't just be like, okay, now I'm bi, and then you have a friend that's a guy, and you just go and try to touch his dick. Then that's a different story. But if you're respectful, you know, everyone's still respectful, and everyone's their way, then yeah, I don't see anything wrong.
And Carl had even met. The true catalyst for Chris...
I don't know who Gustavo is. Ain't no way, bro. I should left his wife and kid. Wait.
Tyson's feminization instead seemed to have come from his marriage. In January 2022, Chris would post a photo.
Yo, he had, oh shit, I didn't know he looked young. He looks young to me. He looks very young. He already has kids and how old is this kid? He's young. He looks way younger than me. He's in his 20s, right?
With his wife to his Instagram, yet after this, the family photo stopped altogether.
Oh man, his kid has a resemblance to mine because of the pacifier and the hair going down like that. Obviously, the color and everything is different. I can see. Oh.
Together. Fans also noticed that he'd removed his wedding ring, with the ring's absence correlating perfectly with the very first post in which he'd painted his nails. Chris confirmed the split in a post from March 2023.
For a little over a year now, me and Katie have been separated. We are finalizing things soon, but these things take time. We like to keep our personal lives private, very, appropriate. I believe, which a lot of people don't understand because we share too much. But this is the only time I want to discuss it. And to be honest, as for Chris' defense, even if people find out, who the fuck cares? Is this between him and his wife? Just because, I hate this, like, just because he's like a YouTuber or shows up in mr.beast YouTube and whatever, because I don't know much about Chris, to be honest. And just because he's like a celebrity type of thing, doesn't mean like his life matters. Like, no one watching the contest should give a shit if he has a wife, if he's breaking up with a wife, if, whatever. As long as he's not punching and abusing his family or anyone. Like, he's not doing something super vile. No one should give a shit. It's his fucking personal life. And also him making the decision to, transition or whatever he's doing. Like, that's his decision. Like, if you like the dude for who he is, and like, that doesn't really change.
Reading. For a little over a year now, me and Katie have been separated, with this also confirming that Chris's transformation began as soon as his marriage came to an end.
Oh, that was this
Chris
year.
went from lighting campfires and raising a family with his beautiful wife to now trying to be a wife with his man buns and long.
Well, yes, it is weird, right? Okay, fine. Like, it's weird. Like, I wouldn't do that. I like, well, I don't go camping, but like, I want to, be with my girl and be with my kids. Fine. That's fine. But that's his decision. Like, that's what he wants to do. Why does it matter, Todd? Why do you give a shit, Todd? Like, I'm very in the middle of like in these type of things. Like, I am in the stance like that, there's a limitation of how much you gotta push these things. Like, I don't feel like my kids should be being taught to be like that or anything like that. I feel like they should become of age, and then they decide if they want to. Chris is a big man in a sense of, what I mean big man, he's a big boy. He's over 18, way over 18. He has a family and everything. He decided to do this, then let him do it. That's his fucking problem. Todd here, who is no one, apparently he has 2 subscribers. Not that I am someone, because I don't have that many either, and I don't feel like the subscriber count makes you better than anyone. The point is that Mr. Todd here shouldn't be fucking talking shit about Chris. Like, let him be with his man buns and long nail. Who the fuck cares? Let him be whoever he wants.
Nails. As the criticism continued to pile, Chris announced that he'd be taking a break from social media. And while there was a
and then this is a problem. Like, if everyone starts doing that shit, and then let's say he does have mental health issues, right? And then he goes ahead and he hurts himself, then people are like, oh, well, why would he do that? Well, this is why. Because let the person do whatever, like, they're big enough, they're old enough, they could do whatever the hell they want. Like, is it weird? Fine. Yes, to me, like, if I'm speaking honestly, it is. Like, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't feel comfortable doing that, and I wouldn't want my kid to do it, for example. But I wouldn't go ahead and stop whatever the fuck I'm doing to focus on a person that I know, or is my kid, doing that, to start being, like, shitting on them. Let them do whatever they want. It does not affect your life at all. Whether Chris decides to keep being with his wife, not be with his wife, paint his nails, and do whatever else he wants to do, it doesn't affect any of us.
Possibility that Chris would make efforts to return to his former self. He'd rather do the opposite and double down on his feminine image, showing up to the Kids' Choice Awards looking like this, before making the announcement that he'd been doing HRT for approximately 2 months, which according to a quick Google search is the medical process for changing gender.
Oh, okay, so he is going through it.
Chris would expand on this by stating, informed consent HRT saved my and many others' lives. The hurdles GNC people have to jump through to get life-saving gender-affirming healthcare in a first world country is wild to me. Just let people make informed decisions about their own body.
So I'll tell you this. So I don't believe this is life-saving. Like, I don't like that term. Let's just say that. Because whether Chris does it or not, or anyone that is doing it, you're not gonna die. It's not like you're gonna just like burst into flame. And not being exaggerative. It's not that I want to exaggerate, but oh no, I look because they're open. It's not that I want to exaggerate. It's just like, you're not gonna die unless you're the one harming yourself because you have a mental issue, right? Like, you're not just gonna die. Your body is not gonna give up on you. You're biologically, you're not gonna die. It's not like you have a disease that you're gonna die. Now, mentally, that you might self-harm yourself, that's a different story. Then you could die like that. But that's not, it's still, to me, that does not qualify as life-changing. I mean, life-saving. Life-changing, yes. Life-saving, no. So I don't like the term, again. But it is his body. If he feels this is the right move and it's like what he wants to do, let him do it. Because there's people out there that eat a lot and are overweight, and then we live with it. We don't go after them. You should not, I won't say like the whole body shame, like, doctors, like, when they tell you you're overweight, whatnot, and then supposedly like you could get in trouble for that. So supposedly some places like doctors could get in trouble. I feel like that's kind of stupid. Doctors should be allowed to, but like, for example, me, I shouldn't be able to, like, I'm not legally, but like it's not right for me to go and see someone that is overweight and then I go ahead and I start going into their DMs and going to their comments and going to whatever and just keep, like, Nicaragua Avocado, he does it for whatever, for views or whatever reason he wants, right? He's pretty overweight, unfortunately, and he, hopefully he's fine, nothing ever happens to him, but what he's doing is probably not the best, health. And you shouldn't go ahead and start like picking on him all the time, because you don't know if they're in that state. You don't know how they're here mentally. So if you do that, then you could push a person over to to the edge and then have them harm themselves more just because you just want to feel good about yourself, and that's no bueno. But now, life-saving for him will be going on a diet. That is life-saving, because that's where, again, life-saving comes in. Like, if he gets on a diet that helps him lose weight and, not be, getting all the diseases, because not only mental, but him physically, his biology is going to get, his health is going to deteriorate eventually, because being that overweight and consuming what he's consuming harms your body. But in this case, your body is not being harmed because it's you just have a mental issue where you feel something and you're not gonna die from it physically. Your arm's not gonna fall off, or your cells is not gonna attack each other, your organs not gonna fail. That's what I mean. But again, that's just because that's why I'm emphasizing the life saving. Like, I don't like that term, but it is something that mentally could push someone to hurt themselves if if they don't feel like being whatever they want to be. Like, I mean, what they are. And I don't see why. Like, he is an adult, he's making his own decision, let him.
Which received a positive response from both Carl and Mr. Beast.
Yeah, got you. I did one more heart than Carl because I'm a better friend. Stupid Mr. Beast.
Who wrote, "Got you, I did one more heart than Carl because I'm a better friend." While his co-workers expressed positivity, others weren't so welcoming. There goes a father figure the kid won't ever be able to look up to. Hard times create strong men create good times create weak men, and weak men create hard times. Weak man time.
Okay, again, that's for him to worry about. He made that decision. His kid is his and Katie's kid. They make the decision, all right? Bro, look. I come from like family where like I was like fucking poor, and like not with the best fucking how can I say, like ideology. And I have a family member, right? Don't want to mention who, that has a kid, and he's not transitioning or anything, right? But he abandoned the kid, and he's in prison, I think, or in jail right now. He's a piece of shit person. He's not trying to transition, and his kid is gonna go through the trauma of not living with his father or her father and having to struggle because the father is a piece of shit and made all the wrong decisions for no reason. So it's like it's still gonna create a strong, a weak kid. So I don't like this. Like, it is true, like, you need strong men, but not every man have to be strong. Some men, if they decide to be weak, let them be weak. Then the stronger mans need to be stronger. Double strong. Who the fuck cares?
Chris responded to this comment by stating, "This is just more dog whistling that somehow trans and GNC folks aren't safe around kids. Tucker begs for me to come back when I leave for like 2 days to film. He is so loved and happy. Kids aren't born with hate, it's taught by people like you, and my child will only know love. I know I'm going to be a great parent, and so is every other person who puts the love of their child before everything. I made this decision because I wanted to show up as my best and happiest self for him. In a way, this was for Tucker." Chris's response
So, I don't agree with Chris mentioning that this is for Tucker, for his son. It's his son. It's his son, so it's his decision and everything, right? But why I'm saying I don't agree with it is because he did it for himself. Like, that's bullshit to me. Whenever you do stuff, unless you're doing it only for your kid and it only affects your kid, then that's where you, like, how some parents will sacrifice themselves and stop doing stuff, or change their life drastically even if they're unhappy to make sure that their kid is happy. That's when you do something for your kid. His kid is gonna struggle in school depending where he lives. Like, if he lives in California, maybe his people are like whatever over there. But if he's in another state that is more traditional, and it's not only traditional, like, don't get me wrong, it's just, regardless, as much as you guys want to like maybe hate on what I'm gonna say, is like, that's not normal. It's like, you as a kid know what's normal because you just know what's normal, especially him, because his kid saw what was normal. He wasn't born in a petri dish. He was born, or adopted. He was born, to his wife, and he had his dad for a few years. I don't know how old his kid is, as a dad, and the mom as a mom. Now, when this change comes in, and then he might love his dad still. Why not? The kid is not gonna. It's true. The kid is not gonna be born with hate. Kids are not really born with hate unless they're evil. But when he goes to school and he start getting picked on, like, oh, now your dad is a mom, or whatever the case they may say, then you are gonna make your kid life more miserable because you want to live as happy as you want. That's that's you. You're doing it for yourself, not for your kid. Don't bring that bullshit. Now, I'm not against it. It's gonna be a you know, it's gonna be a freaking bridge that all three of them are gonna have to cross together, because Katie is gonna have to be involved regardless because she's a mother. But that's bullshit, Chris. I'm sorry, but that's bullshit.
Receive some positivity such as, I'm convinced you're an amazing father. Tucker is lucky to have you and also lucky to have all of those who surround and support you in his life, as well as I adore that, I'm glad you made that decision. It's so much easier to be a parental figure when you're not struggling with dysphoria, yet he'd also receive...
I don't agree with that. Your struggles should not affect how you're a parent. The task of a parent is different to your own task of your personal self.
Even equal amount of backlash. You ripped apart your family and took a father figure away from your son just so you could paint your nails and act zesty. Pathetic.
But a beer, whatever your name is, that's not your problem. That's his decision. That's what he wanted to do. That's not your problem. How are you gonna do? What are you gonna do to change this? Are you gonna adopt his kid? What are you gonna do? Like, who the fuck cares?
He will get torn apart at school, won't want to have friends around his house, a life full of difference and being alone.
So, Craig, I don't agree with that either. I do agree with the first part. He will probably be torn apart at school. Yes, depending on what school and what type of people goes there. So that part is true. Eventually, if he's not a strong kid, he will get bullied easily. Because anyone could just go straight to that point. And it will be the easiest point to go. It's like the easiest gut punch. Now, that he won't have friends around, no, that's not true. And his house life is full of difference and being alone. Why would he be alone? I don't agree with that. So, Craig, shut the fuck up.
Must have missed the point in that tweet. How's this for him when you're depriving him of a father figure?
So, again, Mr. B had a good part. How is this for him? That is true. Like I said earlier, what Chris did is not for his son. Even he says it. You could say something, it doesn't matter what the hell you're saying. It's not for his son, it's for himself. That part is true. It's not for himself. I mean, it's not for him. For his own son. Yeah. God damn it. I mix myself. It's for himself. But depriving him of a father figure, like, not all, bro, not, like, you can't tell me that back in the day where everyone was following the tradition, there weren't kids that were misbehaving, were piece of shit regardless, and grew up to be a menace to society with a father figure. So I don't like that baloney that people keep saying is like, oh, you need a father figure and that's the only way to succeed. That's fucking bullshit. My dad was not an amazing dad. If I would have followed all the stuff that my dad was teaching me, I would have been a super piece of shit. Alright? So that's why to me, this is fucking baloney. I decided to be myself and different. I follow what I believe was the proper way. I got raised by fucking Pokemon. That's what raised me, Pokemon.
Although Chris
and Sonic
wasn't altered by these comments, as he'd once again reiterate his certainty in a new post reading, "It's never too late to start being yourself," which received praise from Mr. Beast as well as Nolan and Carl. However, these comments also added extra fuel to the fire. In a few years, look back at this thread and remember they were never your friends. Only yes men cowards. Hope you come out of this safe.
I don't know who EM is, but why are you saying that? How you know if they're their friends or not, his friend or not? Like, they're going with it because they are friends. Maybe some of them might not be friends, but look, you go, like, if you really care about your friend, you could advise them. But if they still feel like this is the right decision, then you let them do it. A friend tells you the truth, but doesn't mean that a friend has to force you not to go through with something. That's not being a friend either. That's being more like an authoritarian.
Mr. Beast responded to this with a simple opinion irrelevant ratio, to which the original commenter would state, "I have 30 followers, so go ahead and ratio me. I'll still rest easy knowing that I'm not a coward who idly sits by watching my friend ruin his own life."
He's not ruining his own life. He wants to do this, and that's it. He's not ruining it. If this is what he wants, this is what he wants.
In some ways, it was nice to see the boys standing up for Chris on Twitter. However, the situation has already begun to change the dynamic within the videos. For example, in a recent livestream titled Opening 1,000 Mystery Art Boxes, Chris would once again dress in quite a feminine way, and while everybody participated as usual, the energy and vibe didn't feel nearly as smooth as it normally does. It felt as though there was an unaddressed...
I wouldn't know because I haven't watched the video. I would say, like, to me, I will feel weird seeing one of my favorite YouTuber, transition, and then, like, especially in the beginning. Well, it would be so weird too because you're not used to that. But that's it. Like, if you like the content, if you like the person, then you get over it. That's all I'm saying. Like, I think, like, I don't know if he looks disappointed. Maybe he was going through something else. Who the fuck knows? Marshall and Dylan's. Who the fuck knows? Jimmy was probably going through something else. He had Taco Bell. His stomach was hurting. He took a massive shit just like 5 minutes before the stream.
Best elephant in the room, and therefore everybody was in their head as opposed to being in the present moment enjoying each other's company. Maybe everybody was simply too busy opening packages, but Chris did make these bizarre jokes about Jimmy being female, making him incredibly uncomfortable.
Oh my god, Jimmy, look, they drew you. Jimmy, they drew you so well. It looks just like you.
Oh, yes.
Oh my god, it's Jimmy.
How did fan
Chandler joins into a alcohol.
start? This is what we were looking for. Be brave, be honest, be kind, Mr. Beast. That is.
Well, I'm pretty sure also what happened is that he knows that this is the first stream. Everyone is obviously not gonna be super comfortable because Chris is transitioning, so it's different for everyone. Like I just said a moment ago, and you just gotta let people get used to seeing Chris this way. Like, I can start watching Mr. Beast and I'll get used to Chris right away because I don't really watch Mr. Beast content. Nothing against you, Mr. Beast. It's just I don't watch your content. I still think he's like one of the coolest dudes, but I don't watch his content. But I will get used to it because I don't like after 5 different content that I watch from him. To me, Chris is like it's Chris. I'll notice that. Obviously, I'm not gonna be lying. I'll notice that Chris is transitioning and is not like pure girl or born as a girl. Hopefully, this doesn't get me in trouble for saying it like this. I'm testing the waters right now, but I wouldn't stop watching because I see Chris. I never seen Chris was oh man all this time didn't transition. I never watched Mr. Beast content. Why would that that's the thing that people are stupid.
That's my tagline.
Becoming even weirder when each member started to pay each other compliments.
Hey, nice shirt. Thanks, dude. Nice shirt.
Hey, nice shirt.
Thanks, dude. Nice shirt.
Thanks. Nice shirt.
Nice shoes.
For the most part, the live stream was
Yeah, he wanted to say something different because everyone knows, like he already knows. I don't know. I honestly don't think I don't watch his content all the time, so I don't know how much energy he has.
devoid of awkward moments. However, it would act as fodder for another 100 million views worth of drama and criticism. Chris likely believes that people will slowly adapt to his new appearance over time, but is this really going to happen? Well, maybe. It's difficult to say as the situation is fairly unique, especially when considering Chris's reputation and influence. However, if Chris continues to transition, would it be unreasonable to say that he could jeopardize some of the personality traits which made him a successful member in the first place? Perhaps the opposite will happen, and he'll instead pick up new personality traits that better resonate with the current MrBeast audience. This was put forward in many comments supportive of Chris.
You look amazing, Chris. I have so much respect for you being your truest self. The haters will be loud, but I promise there's millions of queer kids who look up to you. Keep being yourself. So Dave, what I don't like about your stupid comment, it started really good, but there's millions of queer kids who look up to you. Like, why do we have to always single out like a group of people? Like, just say, but I promise there's a million of kids who look up to you. That's it. You don't have to like single out, and that's the problem with society today. And this is why this is happening, and why people make so much big hoopla over little dumb shit. If he's the character he is, he doesn't need a new character development. He doesn't need anything. If he's himself, Chris, just be yourself. Be who you always was. Like, laugh at the same jokes, say the same jokes, do the same gimmicks. It doesn't matter. People should like you regardless. If whatever joke you said 6 months ago, whenever you before you start transitioning, whatever joke you said that was really funny, if you say it today, she still make people laugh. It doesn't change just because you're changing. Your whatever the transition doesn't change the fact that you're funny, or you have your stuff that made you who you were for the channel. I hate that. Shut up, Dave.
Who implied that there'll be millions of queer kids who look up to him, although this doesn't necessarily mean that it'll add any value to the videos. MrBeast has likely cultivated a massive LGBT audience, all of whom are already watching anyway, and if we've learned anything from Hollywood in recent years,
movies and shows today just make characters gay for the sake of it. No character development, no good story. So much shit to date that just pushes an agenda and forgets the few. So I can't agree with this person is saying, in a sense. The thing is like, fuck Hollywood, fuck Disney and shit like that, because they doing it for the wrong reason. But when you're adding like if you have a character that is LGBT, just let them be themselves. If you emphasize in their sexuality, then that's where I turn off. Like, I could watch a character, and then obviously along the way it's hinted that they have a sexual preference. But if they are still funny and shit, I will still watch it. I will like the character. But when their whole personality is just their sexual orientation, then that's where it's like, oh, here we go again. Because no one gives a shit. At least I don't give a shit. I just want to, laugh or be amazed or something like that. It's just, this sexuality doesn't mean anything. That's not supposed to be a focus, and that's what everyone is focusing on.
It's that adding over-the-top LGBT characters for the sake of relatability rarely works as intended, and is often nothing more than a distraction from the premise of the movie or video. On top of this, it can be uncomfortable and unrelatable for the silent majority, although as we have seen, a situation like Chris's does have the potential to create an otherworldly amount of discussion, which could be seen as a benefit for the MrBeast brand.
Drama is good for growth, 100%. That would be an easy way to up my
So
views
you're
if
a
I got it.
Keemstar?
The problem is, this type of situation is probably the last thing that MrBeast wants to attract, as he's forced
Bent over. I used that joke one time. I got in trouble at my job.
to agree with Chris's position, as he has no way of manipulating the situation without being painted as the bad guy. It's a lose-lose situation for MrBeast.
I don't agree with that, Sonny. I don't. Because, in my opinion, if he doesn't, look, if he didn't really want, like, look, Chris is their friend. You're gonna tell me he didn't start getting hint that Chris probably was gonna, like, go this route? And if they did, they could have just got removed them for any other reason, mad quick. I still feel like if he doesn't work good, then you remove him and just be straight about it. Be like, yo, I'm removing him because he sucks for this reason. That's it. Not like whether he decided to change his sexual orientation or not. Like, again, I don't know why we emphasize on this. And MrBeast's big ass channel, he has so many businesses. He's not gonna lose. Like, a small channel, maybe like me, if I were to go through the same thing or something like that, and I said something stupid, then yeah, I'll be sent to the shadow realm like this. He's fine. This dude has so much money for everything. He could get rid of Chris if he really wanted to. Now, should he get rid of Chris because maybe he feels uncomfortable? No. Like, if they're friends and they're really friends, I don't see why. But if his views and everything is hurt them tremendously, like really, really destroyed, then that's his decision. He is MrBeast. He is the channel. The channel is him. He could decide to drop whoever he wants, whether people get upset or not. Who cares? But it shouldn't be because of what Chris is doing. It should not be that way. I don't like that.
I think Jimmy is in an inescapable situation. If he kicks out Chris, cancelled. If he don't, his channel will die for real.
Again, I don't agree with that. I think that Jimmy, has he could make this whatever decision he wants. I don't think his channel will die if he stays with Chris, and I don't think if he kicks him out, he's gonna get canceled. I'm not gonna cancel. I don't watch his video regardless. I've never watched his videos because I never got interested. But there's so many people so many good things that Mr. Beast do that will overwrite whatever the small group that wants to cancel him wants to do. And there's so much good stuff that Mr. Beast do and his content is different, that if you like that type of content, you should not stop watching because Chris decides to transition, unless they focus every video on Chris only and on his sexual orientation. Then that's a different story. Then that will be their downfall, because it'll be just like how Hollywood, Disney, and all these stupid places are doing, that they just focus on that aspect. Let Chris be himself. Let him be who he was always. Chris, don't change who you were all this time. Just continue what you're doing and keep being, yourself. If you were goofy and stuff like that, be goofy and crack your jokes. Who cares?
An inescapable situation is a pretty good way of describing the drama, which is also why it deserves the harsh label of being a nightmare.
Marianne, how are you his therapist? Are you there? Are you his diary? Whenever he writes on the diary, he writes on your back? Does he write on your stomach? Like, how do you know that he's trying to stay strong and he actually wants to cry? Shut the fuck up.
Jimmy has no option but to
Boob guy 7. You can't tell he's weirded out, but can't do anything because of the backwash. And because it's Chris. Again, you don't know that, a boob guy. Like, he probably was not weirded out with Chris. He's probably more weirded out because he probably feels like he probably knows the backlash he's gonna get from the content or stream he makes. I'm pretty sure that's more like, when the cameras were off, they were probably like, oh, like good, like, oh, they had their hype. But then when they got ready and they turned that camera on, I'm pretty sure they felt like fuck. And they were opening packages, so they probably didn't know what the hell they were gonna see. And they probably saw shit that was not good, but they didn't want to show it. I think it's more of that.
Publicly express acceptance.
But again, this is my opinion. Maybe, hey, I might be wrong. Maybe Marianne and Boop Guy, they know everything.
Of Chris's transition, as silence or even worse, disapproval would come with obvious severe repercussions. However, in accepting Chris's transition, Jimmy implies that this will be the new normal within the content, thus annoying a different group of people, many of whom will never express.
I'm a defective human. Yeah, Mr. Beast is gonna end up dropping the views because of Chris.
Their true feelings, and they rather simply click on fewer Mr. Beast videos. If this is the case, Jimmy has no option but to accept this fate, as removing Chris from the videos in any kind of way could create an even more severe media firestorm. The only clean solution, should things go south, might be for Chris to resign himself, and even then rumors and bad press will be unavoidable. Whether it be arrogance or ignorance, Chris seems oblivious to
Eloy Storm. It's very to put him in a mess.
How this whole thing might impact Jimmy, forgetting that he achieved his current level of success by avoiding this exact type of drama.
Well, I don't think his video was so bad. He just went through all the stuff and people. I feel like he was just opening the door that there would be more drama, and I think like Sonny Belize said there will be drama. And yes, there will be drama because people are stupid. But let me like his video, because actually I didn't see him really saying something that bad. Or if he did, I fucking forgot. But what I could say is what I don't like is people just focus on that. It's like that's the biggest emphasis, and that's why everything gets the way it gets. Because people are emphasizing on the same damn shit. If someone transition or decide to change their pronouns or whatever, people just go bonkers on both sides, on every side, and it's just like, it's irritating. Just shut the fuck up. Like, again, there's stuff I do not agree with, but that doesn't mean that I have to stop what I'm doing to go on this guy's social media and just start talking shit. Oh, you ruined your kid's life. Oh, you did this. Who the fuck are you? Like, who told you that you were so entitled, that you had your life so perfect, that you could go ahead and start already like telling someone else how they ruined their kid's life? Every kid is different. Every household is different. Every family is different. Like I said earlier, since back in the day when this country was way more conservative and there was like more people that no one's transitioning and stuff like that, and gays weren't really looked on that, you know, really good and stuff like that, there was still crime. There was still fathers hurting their kids or abandoning them or abusing them, even sexually. You guys don't see CSI? You guys don't see like all that shit? That's not made up story. If you watch Discovery Channel, you see some crazy ass shit when they start talking about these old documentaries. And a lot of these people were religious people, and they were even more evil than the people that weren't religious. I'm not trying to group everyone. The point that I'm trying to make is there were crimes back in the day, and they were heinous crimes. And there were kids that grew up and became these criminals, whether they had a father or not. And just because you have a father figure doesn't mean you have a good father figure. So that's like right away, like that's debunked. Like, I don't want to hear that shit. Now, is it preferred? Yes. Like, I don't want to leave I want to be a father figure. But I learned from the mistakes of my dad. Right? But I can't turn and become the same or worse. Like, again, other family members that have become worse. Why? Because that's how life is. It doesn't matter. I don't think at all that people should be bothering him about his kid. Let Chris, raise his kid and make the decision he wants. It's his kid. Any consequence that kid will, have in the future that comes from whatever his decision is, he will have to deal with it, and he will have to regret it or not. That's his problem. Now, again, I'm not gonna agree with him on what he said that he's doing it for his son. I don't 100%. That's bullshit. Like, stop that nonsense. For the kids, no, it's not for the kids. It's for yourself. But again, I'm happy that he's happy, and I just feel like he should just keep going. Just keep going, dude. You got this. If you got all the support from your friends, family, you do whatever you want. And Mr. Beast, if you want to support him, support him. If you don't, drop him. That's how it is. Don't worry, Mr. Beast. You got so much people. If you get canceled, Mr. Beast gets canceled every other week. He got canceled because of the thing with the buying and whatnot. Piggly Iggly, I think it was. Then he got canceled with something with the eyes when he was helping blind people won't see again. He got canceled like 3-4 times. Mr. B's been on all this drama lately because people hate on him regardless. This is just another fucking another pebble to throw at him. Doesn't matter. In the end of the day, people are stupid. That's how I feel. But anyway, let me know in the comments what you guys think. Let me know if this type of content is you guys like. I enjoyed it. I learned so much because I know nothing about Chris, to be honest. I don't watch Mr. Beast. I'll be honest. Like I said it before. I don't think he's a bad content creator. I think he's with all the views and stuff. No, he's a fucking awesome content creator. His content doesn't really call my attention. I like watching Markiplier that just plays video games. I just watch him scream and stuff like that. That's my type of content. That's why I make that type of content too. Is what I enjoy. But yeah, so that's basically it. But good luck to Chris for sure. He's gonna, he has to really get there mentally. He gotta be strong mentally because with everything that's going on, it is like people do go after you, and that's the biggest problem. If people would just leave it alone, then this wouldn't be a big announcement. But anyway, yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Be kind in the comment section just in case. Don't start arguing among yourselves and stuff like that, because you guys can say whatever to me, I'll ignore you guys because I don't give a shit. Like if it's like negative comments, I don't give a shit. I know how to deal with negative comments because I don't, like I say in Spanish, me lo paso por lo huevo. Like I just scrub them, all the negative comments. I scrub them through my balls. I don't give a shit. But 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 you know, don't start arguing in the comment section. I don't want this to become like a big deal. But it's something that I wanted to review because I saw it just a moment ago. I'm like, holy shit, yeah, this is something good. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy. Hopefully I didn't repeat myself so many times. And see you guys in the next one. Love you guys, and Super Saiyan Gang, we're out.